Well, good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. How are you all today? I want to talk a little bit about guns and politics. So, naturally, I am drinking my morning coffee out of one of our favorite best selling mugs, the only commie idea the libs hate or liberals hate. I had somebody make somebody on a previous one uh, looked at my mug and he said, but the AK is a communist. And I said, didn't you get what I meant? That's right. You can get these on our website, stonemont.us, and they're one of our biggest sellers. Isn't that neat? Isn't that a neat mug? The only commie idea liberals hate, right? Because it's a gun. Okay. I got a comment on. I don't remember whether it was this channel or integrative preparedness, but it's a political statement. I think it was on this, and the guy said, "I hate Trump because." And I'll never vote for Trump because of his. I'm afraid he's going to take away our Second Amendment rights, just like Reagan did. Okay. Okay. Well, there's so much to unpack in that. It's just the statement is ludicrous. I want to explain why it is, and I think I answered him. He came back. Well, I said, so you're a one issue voter, right? Why? And his answer was, it's the canned thing that a lot of people like to repeat, because all other rights are protected by the second. Let me address that first. And well, let me give you kind of the my overall message on this, and that is it's dangerous, and it's why conservatives lose, or Republicans, or however you choose to define yourself. It's why our side loses in politics. The other side is pretty much they hang together with their communist idiocies. Okay, our side, we have contrarian personalities on our side, and I know we're all, because we have a great sense of personal independence and liberty and all that, and I'm not making fun of that. But man, we will split over the smallest thing, and we would rather argue, and it's just too bad. We would, not all of us, but we have people on our side who would rather argue the gnat, you know, strain at a gnat, swallow a camel kind of thing, who will argue over the slightest thing and refuse to go along with the greater agenda. Okay. Let me address this thing about defending all other rights first. Does it? Let me ask you that. Does it? Our First Amendment rights have been almost destroyed. Everybody knows what the First Amendment was, right? Is freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religious conviction, and the ability to worship as we please. Did the Second Amendment protect that? Not a bit. Okay, so this is one of the first things that people need to realize. When they came down under the lockdowns and they shut down the churches and they had their effect, the government affected the communications on all these platforms. Did the Second Amendment protect it? No, that's a platitude. Does it protect the Third Amendment? Probably most people don't even know what the Third Amendment is. How about the Fourth Amendment? How about the Fifth Amendment? Many people know what the Fifth Amendment is because they watch movies and it says, I have the right not to, it's the Miranda. How about the Sixth? How about the Seventh? How about the Eighth? How about the Ninth? How about the 10th? Do people even know what all those amendments are? And I would venture that 90% don't. So this is a ridiculous statement about the Second Amendment protecting all of the others, because we've seen that it did not protect the First Amendment. Okay? Simple as that. Now let me give you some information from my own experience. And that is, I remember, I mean, I was still in law enforcement back in, well, in Carter and Reagan and all that. And at that time, um, there were only 3 states that allowed concealed carry. And I don't remember what those states were, but ours wasn't one. And during that time, I was also on the fugitive unit where we flew around the country bringing guys back who had been caught on our warrants, you know. And there were states like New York that wouldn't even allow police officers to come into their jurisdiction uh, armed, which is nuts. Now, I never made any of the trips to New York because I did mainly west of the Mississippi. I did a few east of the Mississippi, but most of my trips were out west, and I was glad. Um, but I had a great time, and I got to Tennessee quite a bit, in Chicago. I always enjoyed those trips. But the guys who made the eastern trips, they wouldn't go into New York. They'd tell you in New York, hey, if you want to bring us your guy, we'll meet you in New Jersey. You know, we're not coming into New York City without carrying a gun. So back then, only 3 states allowed concealed carry. Now, I think all of them do, and most of them have reciprocity with others. So don't fall prey to this. I'll be honest. There's a lot of people who in the 2A community, and I'm not putting them down. It's an important. I'm glad people stand up for their constitutional rights, but there are too many people in this community that just cry fire all the time. And they don't really know what they're talking about. It's a great way to get clicks on videos. It's a great way to get the uneducated all inflamed, right? But now we have gone from only 3 states that even allowed concealed carry, and you had to go through all sorts of hoops in order to get that. You had to show that you were a jewelry salesman and carried your samples with you all the time or something. It was nuts. Nobody ever thought that there would be more than 3 states allowing concealed carry. And now all of them are. And many are constitutional carry states. You don't even need a license to carry, a permit to carry. So this idea, this simplistic idea that you won't support somebody because you didn't like their position on bump stocks. I'll never vote for him. I'll never forgive him for being against bump stocks. Well, here's a guy. He's a New York guy. He's not a gun guy, but I'll tell you what. His sons are both gun guys. Okay. The guy he picked is a great hunter. Did you hear Vance and his acceptance speech talking about his grandmother? They found when she died, he said they found 19 loaded handguns in her house because she was very, into protecting herself. Maybe Trump doesn't. He's been surrounded by armed security all his life. Maybe he doesn't have the same view of firearms as you. But other than that, he and most of the people that I talk to will say, yeah, I agree with him on pretty much everything else, but I'm not going to vote for him because of this. Wow. I mean, that's why we lose, guys. These single issue voters. Well, you know what? Life is not a single issue. Government is not a single issue. Politics is not a single issue. And the people who are involved in the political process are the ones who get things done. It's not the person who pounds his little fist and stomps his little feet and out of his anger that somebody doesn't support every little thing they think is right. And so I'm just not going to play. I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm not going to support you. The reason that I wanted to talk about this, get your mug, is because these are the people, and I hope it's not you, but there's probably a couple of people out there listening to this. But these are the people who help the other side. These are the people that we should be disgusted with. I know I get harsh sometimes. Doesn't matter. I say it like it is. I say it like I see it. I never get mad at my opponent. Okay? I never get mad at my enemy. I get mad at the people on my team or on my side who aren't doing everything they can to win. Now, people say, well, I believe in this and I believe in that, and I believe we need to take America back to the way that it used to be. And you know what? Sometimes you don't get the whole pie. If you get more than half the pie you want, you're winning. That means the other side is losing. And you win the war by winning a whole lot of different little battles. Right? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. I've never eaten an elephant. I doubt any of you have, but it's a great saying. One bite at a time. You get what you can get, and then you keep going. But this idea on the part of so many single-issue voters, and we see the same thing in abortion. Okay, and some people are upset that I guess abortion is not on the Republican platform this time. Well, I'll tell you what, nobody could be more against abortion than I. In my mind, they're talking about the abortion laws. Is it 15 or 16 weeks or something like that? I don't know what it is. That doesn't matter to me because in my mind, life begins not at conception, but in the mind of God. And so there is no there in my opinion, I cannot make that argument for abortion anywhere. But am I not going to vote for a candidate because he's not as anti-abortion as maybe I am? Because you see, if you refuse to support the person who is 90% or 95% what you believe, and you refuse to support them because of one little thing, you are supporting the other side. You're giving aid and comfort to the enemy by not standing against them. Again, I'll say that famous quote by Edmund Burke that everybody loves so much, but so few people really go by. All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do, and women, to do nothing. If you're not standing against the true evil, you are, by your failure to stand against it, supporting it because you're not working against it. I don't have any respect for these people who stand up on these single issues and pound their fists. I'm not going to support, he's going to do this, or I hate him because of warp speed. I don't like him because of the clot shot. I don't like him because of this. Oh my gosh. And you know what they're saying. And when I ask, well, then you like Biden? You like the Democrats? No, I hate them, but I don't like Trump. I don't, whatever. Put anybody else's name in there. You know, Reagan went through the same thing. It's time for these people to grow up. Be an adult. Are you ready to actually live life as an adult? To where you don't get everything you want, but you understand that it's something that you work toward? Okay? When you started a job, when you start a new job, and you want to be CEO. You know, I'm going to say something about these people that use the term CEO. What a laugh. You want to be head of the company, but you hire on, and then when they don't make you head of the company that first day, do you go, I'm not working here anymore? Really? It's time for a lot of people. We have a lot of good people on the more conservative side that have been constantly working through the political process and making things better. That was my point of talking about guns and carry. We have come so far in gun rights. I mean, as allowed by law. I'm not going to get into this. My right comes from God. Yes, it does. But get real. Start talking about the real world, okay? Nobody's impressed with these idiotic T-shirt sayings because the hard work is done in the trenches, in the political process. And if you're not involved in the political process, you're not helping at all. You're not helping at all. So that was my point talking about guns, is that because of people who have been involved in the political process, we have gone from 3 states that allowed carrying weapons to all of them. And you know what? None of it happened because of a bunch of guys in black T-shirts with cool Second Amendment sayings on them, getting up there and pounding their fists and raising their guns. It's about politics. I know it's something that people hate because it takes work and it takes being involved. People don't like that. Well, you all do, but most people don't like that. It's the people involved in politics that drive this ship of state. That's it. And that's why you need to be involved. Now, whether your involvement is running for office, whether it's supporting somebody running for office, whether it's contributing money to somebody running for office, whether it's hanging door hangers for a candidate, whether it's making a YouTube of your own, whether it's commenting on this one, whether it's sharing this one with someone that you know. There's all ways to be involved. But if we have any hope for an American reversion, taking things back, did you notice somebody actually used the term reversion? It was somebody on Fox. No, I don't think that they did that because watching this or my book, I don't know, but who knows? You don't know. You don't know the effect you might have on the world just by acting like an adult and sharing your opinion. You can have an effect. If you don't have an effect on the world around you, you need to ask yourself why. Okay, because then you're just letting the world happen to you. You don't want that. But that's how things get done. So I just wanted to say that. I'm so disappointed every time I see one of these non-thinking. And it's not just Second Amendment. It's it could be all sorts of things. The reasons that people give why they won't stand against evil. Because if you're not standing up for the one who's 90%, 95% right in your eyes, you're helping the wrong side. So I hope that you will share this. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate over this one. I don't care because I'm right. Somebody will just say, you're so arrogant, you think you're right. I do think I'm right because I know I'm right because I've thought about this. And I think most of you agree with me, right? So share this with people and maybe it'll get a few of them thinking more and spouting off less and actually becoming a part of the solution. Okay, life is not a one-issue deal. Politics is not a one-issue deal. Running a country is not a one-issue deal. And taking a country back is not a one-issue deal. So think about that. Remember that America needs a reversion. It needs you to be a part of it. It needs me to be a part of it. It needs all of these people to be a part of it. So if you're one of those that has been, one of these one-issue deals, I hope that you will think about it and be a part of it and help us come on to this. And let's get this country back to the way it's supposed to be. Okay? You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.